Hey everyone, welcome back again. So this video is to cover things that I picked up at the Waterloo Game Swap. It happened just this past week in Waterloo, Ontario, where they have, about 100 dealers and collectors and dealers, a little bit of both combination, who were selling, used games, new games, systems, all kinds of things, game related, different paraphernalia and whatnot. So I went there with my younger brother and my father, and the group of us had gone to the previous show. So we all went together to go look around. Not a lot happened for me on the game front, but for the most part, my big thing was to have my eye out for whatever caught my eye. But also, I did have one objective specifically that I did manage to succeed in, and I'll talk about that right at the end of the video. But for now, let's just get straight to the games. Okay, so first of all, I have to cover the baseball games, which I always do. So this one here, I honestly don't know the title of. Really, I can tell it's a baseball game, and I know it's from '89, but that's about all I can make out. So there you go. I like the art on this one. It looks really great. And it does contain, you can see that it says 89 on there, and it also says the same on the top. I think that'll work a little bit better. Yep. So I don't actually know. I think this one here is made by Namco, and that's about all I can make out. With Super Famicom games and whatnot, it's a little bit easier because you can use that code to try to decipher which game it is. It was $2, so it's one I didn't have in my collection, so definitely worth a pickup for sure. This was a little bit easier to figure out. MLB Slugfest 2004 for the PlayStation 2 with Jim Edmonds on the cover. Just another one to fill in the gaps for the PlayStation 2 collection. There were a ton of baseball games for this one. This one looks pretty good. It looks a little bit arcade-like. You even got the player who's on fire. So there you go. That's always pretty good. Slugfest is more of an arcade-type game, almost in the realm of like NBA Jam or NFL Blitz, something along those lines. So first one I picked up was the Sonic Mega Collection Plus. I do love the compilation discs, and this one contains the Sonic, Sonic 2, Sonic 3, Sonic and Knuckles, Sonic 3D Blast, Sonic Spinball, and Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine. So, pretty good set of games there. Always pretty good, right out of one disc. That's not bad at all. So next are some older, more classic games. So for the Sega Genesis, Virtua Racing, including the SVP chip, which very important things. Mainly, the biggest thing I like about this one is this is when Sega was doing like early polygons on the Genesis, so you can see a little bit of that there with the graphics that they were trying to pull off. They looked pretty good for the time. It really stood out. The biggest reason I got this one is because this one kind of was a game that I got a chance to play back at the Blockbuster World Championships when they actually had. For any of you who don't remember Blockbuster, that was where you would get your games, one of many video stores that you could get your games at before Netflix basically drove video stores out of business. What I like about this one, though, is that you got the really nice cart, the really big kind of different cart for it. I think that was mainly because of the chip. So next, I also got another nostalgia one for myself is Where in Time is Carmen Sandiego? So I've never actually played this one, but I did play back years ago on the computer Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego. I just thought this was, kind of neat, and it's one of those things where I kind of want to go in and play this and just see how I do. I know it came with like an encyclopedia, but this one here comes with the manual. It comes with the game itself, of course, and I don't think this is the encyclopedia. No, this is like a poster here or something like that. It comes with the advertisement stuff. Yeah, so I think that's one of those ones where the encyclopedia actually would help you with this quite a bit. But anyway, it's kind of a good, kind of a blast from the past for me. And then you got to love the cover of this. It was an EA game. Where in Time is Carmen Sandiego with just a plain kind of yellow label. It's kind of interesting. So next were another pair of boxed games. And the only reason I got them boxed was just because the price was okay and I was able to get them just as a pair to go along with the set. So first one, Tetris and Dr. Mario. So I love Tetris games, and then Dr. Mario is another favorite, and then having the 2-in-1 really for the Super Nintendo, I actually did not know this game existed. It doesn't surprise me that it exists, but it's one of those things where I had no idea. And just having the combination of the two, I have Tetris, but I don't have Dr. Mario on the Nintendo, and it's kind of cool that on the Super Nintendo they put them together. So that's pretty good. And then this one is another kind of nostalgia game for me, and I'll explain why in a second. Wings 2 Aces High for the Super Nintendo. Now, the thing is, your mileage may vary, but to be perfectly honest with you, this is kind of a stupid game. I really didn't think it was that great. It was okay at the time, but the biggest reason that this is nostalgic for me was that years ago, here in Canada, they had a kids network, which I think is still in the air, YTV. And one of the shows they had on it for years was Video and Arcade Top 10. I was able to get on that show one time, and the game we played was this one. And the thing is, I actually won on that show. In addition to a bunch of little kind of prizes that have long since been gone, I actually received a copy of this game. And unfortunately, that one was sold off years ago. My younger brother has a copy with the box and everything as well, but I wanted to get my own just to have it, just a link to that time. So that would have been probably about 20 years ago. So for this last section was the main reason that I had my eyes out at the Waterloo Game Swap was that I really needed to get a new PS3. Now, I actually did have a PS3. I had a PS3 Fat Edition that also had backwards compatibility, but unfortunately I had either some kind of a thunderstorm I had a couple of months back. I didn't realize at first, but apparently it managed to short out my television, which resulted in my needing to buy a new one. And as it turns out, it somehow managed to mess up the video output of the PS3. So while it'll start up, I've been unable to get anything to come out of the HDMI. I've tried other TVs, more HDMI cables. I probably will try to see if I can get one of those other AV outputs as well. Try that to see if it'll work. But in the meantime, I just needed a replacement. So at the show, I did see for $100, I found a PS3 Slim. I've got it hooked up already, so I'm not going to show it to you, but you kind of know what it looks like. I'll include a picture somewhere on the screen of one of those PS3 Slims. But along with it, they did include a free game with it, Blazing Angels, Squadrons of World War II. So it's always great when, any free games that come with a system is always nice. So last but not least, I did see one other system that I actually decided to pick up. I had never had a copy of it before, but I saw it right at the end of the swap. The price had actually started at $30, which was pretty reasonable for what it was. But at the very end of the show, they priced it down to $25. And at that point, I had to, I needed to hand it over just because it seemed like the right thing to do. So the system I ended up getting was the Gamecube. Now here's a nice purple one. I've never actually had one of these. This generation I was pretty much playing PlayStation. So for the most part I completely missed out on this portion of the Nintendo's time. But for $25 I thought, why not? It comes with all the cables and outputs. It doesn't come with an original controller, but it does come with a third-party controller, which is, not too bad. It's a brand new one. And it also came with a third-party memory card. So, for $25, I really wasn't complaining. I will get a chance to play with it. I have a handful of games for it, so it'll give me a chance to give it a try. So that's it for my pickups. That concludes all the game pickups for the last little while. Definitely like, subscribe, and comment. Let me know if there's anything that you have any questions about or any comments about. I'd be happy to read it in the comments. So I'll cut it off right there, and thanks again for watching.